I get emails of, this is what happened after I did this process with you. So I'm excited to hear. So if something like that comes up for you in the next week or so, send me an email. I definitely want to hear all about it. Okay? All right. So it is not a mistake that we are meeting at this time right now. We are in the energy of the eclipse. It's an energy where there's a massive amount of change that can happen. And so it was the coming in and out of the yin and the yang energy, so the moon and the sun, right? And so now, if you've been called to make any changes, or if you've been thinking about doing something, bringing something new into your life, whether it's a new routine, whether it's a new habit, starting a new business, whatever it is, being in a new relationship, something new, now there's a lot of energy available for that new starting a new program, whatever. What? That is the energy that is in. And so today we're going to be letting go of some of the beliefs and stories that you've been holding on to, so that you can unlock the keys to the next level of wealth in your life. So first things first, I want you to write in the chat, what does wealth mean to you? What does it mean to you to be wealthy? Freedom, yes, abundance and everything. Yeah. Because a lot of times energy, flow, possibility, faith, movement, safety. Exactly. Great job. So it is an abundance of all of it. A lot of people think that wealth is just money, but we've heard the expression knowledge is wealth, right? So wealth, first of all, is whatever it is that you decide it is going to be for you. So it's not measured against somebody else. It's measured against your own definition. So I want you to keep an eye on what wealth means for you. Okay? And then I want you to write, how would you know when you're wealthy? Based on your definition of what wealth is, how would you know if you've achieved it? So if wealth is freedom, let's say financial freedom, what does that mean? How much money is financial freedom? I can do what I want when I want to. Okay, good. Is there, so freedom for anything, right? Whatever that was. Okay. If there was a calm and feeling secure and happy, realizing things. Perfect. Good. How would you measure that? Like, how do you know you're calm? How do you know when you're secure? Because we say these words, and yet they're kind of on like it's not a linear path, right? There's no, all right, I'm at $0 and I'm at $10, and $10 makes me feel secure, and 0 makes me not feel secure, right? Like calm is on a scale. Feeling the same, there's a feeling in your body, yeah, that you can't quite quantify. So one way to look at it might be, all right now I'm feeling, 7 out of 10 secure. And then an 8 or a 9 out of 10 would mean I'm feeling more secure. So you can try and quantify the unquantifiable, if that makes sense. But to put a number on it, because sometimes when we don't measure it up against something, we can't see how far we've come, because it's always it's in contrast that we see, right? We see the stars, they're out all day, but we don't actually see them till night, because there's the contrast of the dark and the light, right? And it's a funny story that, so I drive my car, and I use the backup camera to back up. It's the only fancy thing I have in my car. However, it was in the shop and getting fixed, and so they gave me an even older car of mine, and it doesn't have a backup camera. And so when I went, and not that I need it, but I went to drive, and I was like, I kind of use this more than I thought I did, but it was only in contrast that I could see. And I was like, man, if my car had like all the bells and whistles, I would probably forget how to drive, you know? But luckily, and I also see that with people using their GPS. My husband puts the GPS in for everything. So now he can't figure out where he's going without it. And I never use the GPS except like when I'm, houses, streets away from my destination and I'm actually lost and I need it. But if you rely on it, if you don't have the contrast, it's actually hard to see what you've been missing. Okay, so you could be miles ahead of where you were. And if that's the case, I want you also to celebrate that. All right, so what does wealth mean to you? And then how are you going to know when you're wealthy? Right? And the first step in the embodied wealth is to figure out what wealth means to you. So we already did that. And next we want to know, where are you now in relationship to that? So let's say your goal, we're going to do numbers because it's easier. Let's say you want to be a millionaire and you want $1 million. Where are you in relationship to that? And remember that that's also arbitrary, because how do you know, like, why do you want the $1 million? So that I can feel free, so I can feel calm, so I can feel secure, so that I can do whatever it is what I want when I want it, right? But how do you know $1 million is going to get you there? What if you could do that with $500,000, right? What if you could feel that same way with $200,000, right? But we decided that it was going to be $1 million, that was what it was going to take us to feel the feelings that we want to feel. And because those are feelings, feeling free, feeling safe, feeling happy, you could have that right now, right? You don't need the $1 million to feel free. Where's an area in your life where you currently have freedom, right? If somebody's retired, you might have freedom of time. Okay, you're about a 7 when it comes to freedom. Beautiful. Now you know how far you need to go. And also, you don't need to go there because you can have that feeling right now. Okay, so we've got, where are we? Where are we in relation to that? Or sorry, where do we want to be? Where are we in relationship to that? And then, how do you feel about where you are right now? What comes up when you take a look at how I feel about where I am? And Deborah, you wrote, your old programming gets in the way of a 10. Yeah, perfect. So we're going to unlock some of that. And that's why you don't like setting goals. I don't know what it will take. And that's a good point. The goal is more something to keep your focus. So see the goal more as, okay, this is just a direction in which I focus my energy. And the actual goal is the transformation. It's who you're becoming along the way, right? Because in becoming, let's say your goal was $1 million, because again, that's easy to quantify. Who you are right now is not going to be the same person when you're making $1 million. You're going to probably have gained some skills in some way, been able to communicate in some way. And if we're using the lens of business, if that's the way that you create income for yourself, then you're going to have certain systems that you don't have right now, right? You're going to be a different person now versus when you're there. So we won't even know what that will look like. However, the goal is just to keep ourselves focused. And it's also why when you see the horses, the race horses, and they're running, they have the blinders, right? And people say, put your blinders on. It's so that you know their goal is the finish line, right? Gotcha, I can do that. Perfect. Wonderful. So one of the blocks, the reason we're looking into how do you feel about where you are, like, are you happy where you're heading? Do you want more? Do you want to be further along than where you actually are? If you actually want more, are you okay with wanting more? These give us insights on our limiting beliefs, on the beliefs, like Deborah, that you said, our old programming. Because let's say you want more. Let's say you want to make more money than you are now, but you have a belief that you grew up with that money is bad. Then you cannot reconcile that making more. Because if you say, oh, I make more, then unconsciously you're thinking I'm a bad person. So that's where the blockage is in you receiving that next level of wealth that you want. And that block is stored in our nervous system, the block of the past conditioning. Like some of us were told growing up that not to want more. Like, how come you're not satisfied with what you have? I even noticed, interestingly enough, that I say that to my kids because they're like, I want more of this. I want more. And I'm like, the other day I was like, how come you're not happy with what you have? And I was like, interesting. Someone must have told me that when I was younger. And so what I say to them is, you can have everything you want. It might not be in the timeline that you want it. So, my daughter might want 3 little trucks or whatever. She could have them eventually because, as a grown up, at some point, if she doesn't have it yet, she could still buy her little truck, right? But she's probably not going to want it then. However, she could have it if she wanted it. It would not be in the timeline that she had hoped for, though. Okay, so a lot of us come into conflict with being satisfied with what we have because we're always told you should be happy with what you have right now and what you are given, right? And to want more is greedy. But if that's your current programming and you want more, what do you do about that? How many of you have that programming inside of you? Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I'm catching. Gotcha. Okay, me. All right, awesome. So I want you to write down, if you can remember, what things you heard or you saw people around you, like whether it was your parents, your caregivers, whoever raised you, what was it around wealth? What did you hear and what did you see surrounding wealth? It could be financial wealth if that's what you're working on. It could be health. It could be knowledge, whatever it is. Okay. Good, Gina, you've been working on it and it's pretty deep. Beautiful, because this is going to unlock that next piece for you. You're happy you're implementing changes. Yep. Money is evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yes, we've been told that so many times. Who do you think you are? Yep. All of those. All of it. So write all that down. What happened when your parents or people that were caring for you talked? What happened when they saw a rich person? What would they say about them? Rich people aren't good people. Yeah. And all these we know are not true because money in the hands of good people is just amplified, right? You've seen a lot of people who are wealthy and who give back and who create their own charities. And so not all rich people are bad people. Right? So we need to start breaking those. So we're going to go through a process that does that. But right now, I want you just to see your programming that you have around money. And if it's been since you were childhood, how long has that been in your nervous system? Okay, the reason I'm doing this masterclass is because I had these same programs. And sometimes they still pop up and I have to override them. And when I was younger, when I was growing up, my father actually left my mom, which that part wasn't that was traumatic for me, obviously, but the part that tied in the wealth component was that he emptied out the bank accounts with him. So I learned that, bad people all want money, right? And so I had to untangle that. And none of your family had money. Yeah, even your ancestors. So you get to break the lineage of that. Lineage breakers. We are here for a reason, right? You have within you, you are an ancient carrier of wisdom, so much wisdom. And it is time to step forth and claim what gifts are yours. Okay? So take a look around at your limiting beliefs. And we're going to start to go through a process that shifts them. So looking at your beliefs, Like money is evil. Who do you think you are? Rich people aren't good. I want you to see, where do you feel that in your body? When you repeat these things, where is it landing in your body? So in your head, go over some of your limiting beliefs, and you're going to notice in your body that you start to tighten up. And if you can figure out the area, it could be multiple areas too, I want you to put your hands on it. Okay? Put your hands where you feel you heard different memories, even if you could go back and like see what happened and experience that happened to you. Where is it still being held in your body? Okay, that's where we're going to start with. I'm going to take you through my care process, which helps you to release and reframe those limiting beliefs. Okay, it's going to shift your experience that you have with money and with wealth in your nervous system. So once you have that spot, it could feel like tension, pain, discomfort, a sense of dread, and you're going to put your hands on it, and you're going to start breathing slowly in through the nose and out through the mouth. Yes. Yeah, lots of people have shame around wealth, for sure. So put your hands on wherever it is that you're feeling it. And once you've breathed into it a few times, just say hello to it. And we're going to invite the experiences to come out and sit at the table. See if there's any emotions here. We're not trying to push them away. These beliefs, these emotions, they have been pushed and buried down within us, and we're told we can't feel them. And we're actually going to do the opposite today. We're going to acknowledge them. We're going to say, yeah, you're here. I see you. You're welcome here. In this space, all parts of me are welcome. So in the care process, C is for connect, connecting to your body. Explore what emotions are here surrounding wealth and money. Is there anger? Is there resentment for those who have money? Are these your emotions, or are they someone else's? Maybe they're your family's, maybe they're your ancestors. And just bring them here. Welcome these emotions. Welcome all these parts of you that are here. Sometimes if you ask this part how old it is, there'll be an age that comes up. And if there is, welcome that age of you, that version of you. No matter how small, they are welcome here. Good. Now that we're connected, we want to acknowledge that these beliefs, these feelings around wealth, around money, some of them are no longer serving us. And it's time for them to change our relationship to them. Again, everybody is invited. No one's getting thrown out. No emotions are not welcome. We just want to change our relationship with the stories and the beliefs that we've had. They are in our body. They are in our nervous system. So they are ours. Okay, so that means we have authority on changing our relationship. It is our work to be done. A trigger is a source of healing, and the trigger resides within you. So it is your ability, your responsibility, your ability to respond to it, to heal that part of yourself. So we're connecting to the different painful experiences or discomforting experiences that we've had surrounding money and wealth in our body. We want to acknowledge that we have these feelings, acknowledge that these beliefs are here, and that some of them, we're using them to say that they're serving us, even though we want something else. They might have come from our past upbringing, and we can't change that now, right? But we can change the relationship to the path. And that's what we're here to do. So have those feelings, have those experiences, have the younger versions of yourself sitting around with you, and just acknowledge them. You are welcome, and you are here. We are all here together. Bring in the past selves that need healing. Your younger child, your teenagers, young adults, different parts of who you are that have been affected by these stories. Bring them in, take them, welcome them out of the shadow, and have them sit down. Give them a seat at the table. Pass the butter, pass the corn. Enjoy the meal together. Now that everybody's here, we want to have gratitude for being here right now, all together. We are grateful for where we are right now. And we also want more. There gets to be another way. So when you're walking, it's 1 foot in gratitude, 1 foot calling in the future version of yourself. 1 foot in gratitude, 1 foot for more. So you get to have gratitude for where you are and for more. Look at that. You can have your cake and eat it too. Right? You get both. So what needs to be reframed? What beliefs can you now change your relationship to? So if money was evil, what else can we say about money? Can money do good things? Yeah, that's a possibility. So we want to reframe our relationship by saying money can do good things. You can even write, money in the hands of good people will always do good things. Right? And we've heard money doesn't grow on trees. Well, money's made out of paper, so kind of, So even that one isn't all correct. And there is a money tree. So there are such things as money trees. So money does grow on trees. Right? And what else do we have here? Rich people aren't good people. Well, some rich people aren't good people, but some rich people are good people. Right? So that we're just trying to show our brain and our nervous system that that statement might not always be true. You might not be able to go from I'm worthy to look, I'm not worthy right away to I'm worthy. But you may say there are parts of me that are of my story that are worthy. So you don't have to always make the jump from one end to the other because your nervous system might not believe it. Okay? And okay, no one in my family had money. Okay, until now. Right? Until now. And I get to use all the wisdom of my ancestors to become extremely wealthy and to give my ancestors, through living through me, everything that they have ever desired that they could not have. So money in the hands of good people. You're going to heal your lineage. Right? You get to heal your entire lineage. That's the R, the reframe in the care process. So C was for connect, A was for acknowledge, R is for reframe, and the last one is expand. So ask yourself, what would happen if you had more money? What would you do? If you had an extra $1 million that fell from the sky, what would you do with it? And if you'd like to share, you can write it in the chat. You might travel, you might retire if you're not retired, you might start that nonprofit that you wanted to start, you might, do the healing and the coaching business that you've always wanted to do, and allow people to do it in whatever way that you want. What would you do? What would be possible for you, for your family, for the world, if you had all the wealth that you desired? Go to a spa. Awesome. Live in a better home. Great. Beautiful. So that is the expansion that I want to see. What would you do if money was not an issue? What would your higher self call you to do? What is the thing that you would want to do if money was not an issue? How would you want to see the world? If you want to see the world, not everybody does. There is an infinite number of possibilities that could happen in any moment. Right? But you need to be in the energy of the quantum field to see that. Most of the time, our society is set up in the linear model, right? We're like, okay, we make this much, and then this much, and this much. But there are other people who quantum leap, right? So that is a possibility. So what you need to do is get around people that are pathways for possibility. One of the questions I'm asked often is, what happens if I'm envious or jealous of somebody that has what I want? And I tell them, you see them as a pathway of possibility. If they can do it, you can do it. You get up close to them and say, how? What did you do? Right? Get curious and say, okay, if they can do it, how can they create this for me? And that's the same in healing too. If someone says, oh, I can't heal, then the first thing I ask themselves is, well, if you cut yourself or if you had a bruise, do you think you could heal? And most of the time they'd be like, yeah, okay. So you can heal from a bruise, you can heal from a cut, but you can't heal from your low back pain. Okay. Well, there are other people who have had low back pain who could heal from it, right? So they become now models of possibility for you. Okay. So whenever you see yourself going, oh, I wish I could have that, you could go, that is a model of possibility for me. And you get up close and you celebrate that someone has done something that you want to do and someone's further along the path. And that means they leave clues that you can learn from. Okay? You don't have to get guidance. You don't have, you can figure everything out on your own. You are an ancient carrier of wisdom. You have the tools within you and you can figure it out on your own. Okay? You don't need anybody's help. And you can also cut down your timelines if you have a guide to work with. All right? So you don't need the next program. You don't need a million certifications. You don't need to do any of that. You can heal yourself from within. You can grow your business. You can create the wealth that you would want. And you can also, if you're being called to, cut down on your timelines by asking people who've done what you've done, who are a little bit ahead of you, how they did it. Right? So I don't like it when people say, you need faith. No, you can figure it out too. Okay? It's just in what time. All right. So breathe into the possibility that you could have everything that you would like. The travel, the freedom, the safety, the security. Open up your heart to that. And just watch as your nervous system calibrates to that frequency. Go back to that area, just in your mind's eye, that was tension when you first started out. Just look and see how different it is now. How much lighter it is, how much more movement there is there. There's probably less charge and less emotion. You've just opened up another pathway of receptivity by clearing out what was in the way. When you're ready, come back to today, come back to now, and just write in the chat, what was your experience with that? Getting a little house in the country. Beautiful. Recording with musicians. Set up an online coaching practice. Beautiful. I love it. Love it so much. I'm here to cheer you on for that. Let's see. I'll have to finish processing. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Finish processing. And then let me know. So what we did was I asked you what wealth meant to you. Then we figured out where you are in relationship to it. And then we started to piece out some of the emotions and beliefs and stories you have around wealth. Those emotions and beliefs and stories that you had before, they contributed to your set point until now, because we've just shifted your set point. And your set point is where you were programmed for your nervous system to be. So if your family didn't have a lot of money, you might have gotten either to the same amount that they have or a little bit better, but you might not have surpassed them like by a lot. Okay? You may make around the same every year, maybe a little more for inflation, but there's no big jump, right? So that is your wealth set point. Now, we've started to shift that. However, if you don't continue to tap into that and continue to shift that, then nothing new is going to happen. You're going to go back to your original setting, right? So what do you need to do? You need to take aligned action in the direction of where you want to go. So what does that mean? Well, if spirit or if you're being called to, let's say, learn a new skill or a new program, then move in that direction, right? If you're being called to start your coaching practice, move in that direction. If you're being called to get guidance in order to do one of the things that you need to do, then go with that. I would often tell the story a few years ago. I was learning how to snowboard, and the first time I was like, I don't need any help. And I went up, I rented the equipment, went to the top of the, because I've been skiing my whole life. So I was like, okay, I know how to get down a mountain. No, I do not know how to snowboard at all, okay? I fell off the chairlift. I've never fallen off the chairlift since I was a child. And I couldn't get down. By the time I got down to the bottom of the hill, I was almost in tears because of the number of times I'd fallen. And so I marched myself right back into the lesson station. And I was like, I need an instructor, like now, stop. And so I worked with an instructor for an hour, and then, oh my goodness, did I ever improve, right? So I can learn, you can learn it all on your own. You could fall, I could have fallen down that hill another 100 times. It would have been a lot more painful. Or I could have gotten instruction to help me decrease my timeline, which was way better investment of my time. So you have to take action in the direction of where you want to go. And every time you put yourself at that edge of the comfort zone, that's when you're increasing and expanding your capacity to hold more, right? You're lifting weights. Let's say you can lift 10 before it really hurts. Lift number 1 and 2 don't really do anything. It's just helping you get to the 10. It's on lift number 9 and 10. And when you push to 11, that the new muscle is developed, right? So you have to work a little bit harder. And the big and is we want to do this in accordance, in an alignment with and honoring your nervous system, right? There are lots of people who are, okay, I'm going to go, 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 but they don't honor where they are. And then they blow out their nervous system and they go into burnout. When we are talking aligned action, we want to also be aware of what we are holding already energetically and how much is too much. So there is a way to be with your body every step of the way and say, is it time to push? Is it time to pull back? Is it time to rest? Is it time to go inside? You need to get to know the rhythms of your nervous system, because every single part of your nervous system has a season. And when you're in touch with the season, you'll know when to work out, when to lift weights, when to just walk, when it's to do the yoga, when your body needs the push, when it needs the pull, and when you need the rest. Right? we have to honor that part of who we are. So it's the dance between the two. How can I push myself in one area of growth and also learn to respect the needs of my body and my nervous system? And this is where the work of knowing, of tapping into your wisdom comes from. Right? I wake up in the morning and I move my body the first thing. So my routine is to get up and exercise before my body knows it's exercising, or else I might not do it. And there are mornings where I get up and I'm like, no, you need to rest. And then I do. And then there are mornings where I get up and I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally lift this weight. And there are times where I'm like, you better do yoga because you're not going to lift the weight. So you have to, even though movement is a part of my everyday practice, and more often than not, I do move, the type of movement has to be in alignment with the quality of what is happening in your life, okay? And the season that you're in, and the energy that you have, and the amount of stress that you're in, and if you didn't sleep well. Like, you got to take all those into account. But you will know if you're not doing something because you're scared to do it, if you're procrastinating, or if your body can't actually do it. That's the difference you need to know. Is, am I procrastinating? Like, am I in a freeze mode? Is my body in a shutdown, in a freeze mode, or am I hibernating? The difference is, if I'm hibernating, there's wisdom in hibernation. It is a season. In the winter, everything shuts down. You go internally, you download what you need for the next season, right? The wisdom from the next season. So if you're in hibernation, that's excellent. You're inside, you're going inside and you're saying, where's the wisdom for the next set of timing, like the next season? Whereas if you're freeze, you're actually frozen, right? You're in that state where your nervous system is like, this is not working anymore. So even in hibernation and freeze, there is a difference. Well, hibernation is the bear in the nice cave, and freeze is you're frozen to death. You're an ice cube. So that's how you create growth that's sustainable. A lot of people, they will grow and then they'll fall flat because they do not have the nervous system capacity to hold it. And the pattern of sustainable change is, I grow and my nervous system grows and becomes more adaptable and flexible, and I can hold more. I grow and my nervous system adapts to it and I can hold more, right? Any questions about what we did today? A clearing and openness. I can do it myself. Yay! Excellent. So I'm done teaching about the embodied wealth part. There are some people right now who are being called to start a business or to enter into exploring what their gifts are in terms of a business sense. If that is something that interests you, I'm going to be talking about my Embodied Business Academy that starts tomorrow. If not, you are more than welcome to leave and to go ahead and get along with your day. I just wanted to let you know, for your nervous system's sake, that I will be talking about the Embodied Business Academy. So I've been in business for 17 years. In the last 10 years, I've actually been helping businesses to grow privately. So I am still part of Futurepreneur. And so what people do is they apply for funding from Futurepreneur, with all your business plans and everything, and then they match you up with a mentor. So my job is to help people start out their business, grow their business, and then return the funding that they borrowed. And so I've only been helping in that capacity right now. And then I had some patients approach me and said, can you teach us how to grow in an embodied way, how to create a business from the inside out, one that is of service to others and also is sustainable for me, right? And I said, well, I've already been doing that, but yes, now we're going to open it up to more. So I created the Embodied Business Academy, which is starting tomorrow. And it's going to be a small group of women entrepreneurs, people who have an idea for business or who already have one and they want to grow and scale, but in also a way that honors their body. So I'm teaching people how to download their next offering, how to create a product suite, how to launch in a a program, and then how to sell in a way that isn't the masculine, let me chase you and let me and buy from me. Because when someone is chased, you kind of want to run away, right? Like that activates, I want to run away. And so women actually love buying, but you need to feel safe in your body and your nervous system and not feel like someone is chasing you. So how can you do that? Well, it's through a sacred invitation, right? See sales as a sacred invitation. So one of the ways that I make it easier for people is, so I'm hosting my daughter's 5-year-old birthday in a couple weeks, right? And she decides who she wants to invite and what she wants to do for her party because it's her birthday. And so I send out the invites. It does not matter to me if Sally has a dentist appointment or Roger can't come or, or little Billy can come. I just send out the invites, and whoever is able to make it, they're able to make it. And same with these masterclasses. I send out the invites. There's no charge. If it resonates with you, feel free to come. If not, that's okay. And so that's how we want to see the sales process. Not, you have to buy, let me follow up with you, this is an invitation. I created it. I think you would be great for it. And if it resonates with you and if the timing is right, I would love to have you. And that's it, right? And you let other people lead themselves, because we are each sovereign and we are each powerful, right? You don't need, a powerful person doesn't need to be chased in order to make a decision. They can do it on their own. If they desire it, they will make it happen, right? So you just say, and so that's how we want the process of growing your business to be. A desire-led, heart-centered, mission-driven, and honoring the energetic capacity of your body. And that's what we're going to be teaching in this 3-month container. Some people are coming in and they don't even have a business. They're like, I just want to transform along the way. So if that's what you desire, then you are welcome to. So if that calls to you, we're still in the early bird. Like I said, it starts tomorrow. Oh my goodness. So we're having our opening ceremonies tomorrow. And I will send the link, but you can also send me an email if that is something of interest to you. Okay. Otherwise, our next free masterclass, this is going to be so fun, I just came up with it today, is embodying your inner cycles. Okay. And so it is going to be how to tap into the different seasons that exist within your body and how to be in alignment with those seasons, what they feel like, and also activities that you can do to nurture the systems that are already going inside. So there are 4 seasons on the outside, and those are mirrored on the inside too on a monthly basis. So with hormones, that's what we're going to be going into next time. You'll get the link for the registration as usual on the newsletter. So thank you. If you have any questions, then I would love to hear from you. Tell me your feedback. Let me know what you've manifested after this clearing. If the Embodied Business Academy speaks to you, send me a message and we'll get that all sorted out. Okay? Have a wonderful day. I love seeing you all. Bye-bye.